Imagine this. March 1945. Germany is collapsing. The Red Army is 60 kilometers from Berlin. The Allies are crossing the Rhine. And in the skies above the crumbling Reich, something impossible appears. A metal bird, no propeller, no piston engine, just a scream of jet turbines. It is faster than anything the Allies have, by 200 kilometers per hour. It climbs higher. It turns harder. Its 4 Mk-108 cannons tear through bomber formations like paper. The Americans call it a Luftwaffe emergency. General Spaatz tells Washington his bombers can no longer operate without fighter escort. This is the Messerschmitt Me-262, the first operational jet fighter in human history. It arrived 8 weeks before Germany surrendered. To understand why, you have to understand the 3 decisions that killed it before it could fight. The Me-262 was not an incremental improvement. It was a generational leap. Maximum speed, 870 kilometers per hour. The fastest Allied propeller fighter, the P-51 Mustang, 703 kilometers per hour. The Me-262 was almost 200 kilometers per hour faster. It could climb at 1,200 meters per minute. Its 430mm cannons could destroy a B-17 with 3 hits. The first time Allied pilots encountered it, they didn't understand what they were seeing. It had no propeller. It made a different sound. By the time they processed it, the Me-262 was already past them. Between March and April 1945, the 262s of Jagdgeschwader 7 shot down hundreds of Allied aircraft, despite being outnumbered 50-1. But here's the part the documentaries usually skip. The Me-262 first flew with jet engines in July 1942, not 1945, not 1944, 1942. Germany had this weapon for nearly 3 years before it entered combat, and that's where the story becomes genuinely extraordinary. In 1941, the Luftwaffe High Command did not prioritize it. The reason was simple. They thought they were already winning. The Bf-109 and Fw-190 were dominating the skies. The Blitzkrieg was working. Why invest in an experimental jet when the existing fleet was winning the war? So the project received low priority, limited funding, limited production capacity. For 2 years, the most advanced aircraft in the world sat in prototype limbo. By late 1943, the war had turned. The Luftwaffe was losing air superiority. Then Hitler intervened. He ordered the Me-262 to be produced as a Schnellbomber, a fast bomber, not a fighter. He wanted revenge weapons that could hit England. The problem, the Me-262 was a terrible bomber. Its bomb load was tiny. Its accuracy was poor. Converting it from fighter to bomber required redesigning the nose and adding bomb racks. This wasted another 8 months of production time and never achieved anything useful. The fighter version, the one that might have challenged Allied air supremacy, was delayed by direct command of the man who needed it most. By the time Hitler reluctantly allowed fighter production to resume, a new problem had emerged. The Allies had been systematically bombing Germany's synthetic fuel plants. Luna, Lützgendorf, Pölitz. By mid-1944, German fuel production had collapsed by 90%. The Me-262 was not a fuel-efficient aircraft. It consumed vast quantities of high-grade fuel that Germany no longer had. In early 1945, hundreds of completed Me-262s sat in hangars and factories, fully built, ready to fly. They could not leave the ground. There was nothing to put in their tanks. Could the Me-262 have changed the outcome of the war? The honest answer, not alone. Germany was fighting a 3-front war with overwhelming resources. No single weapon, no matter how advanced, could have reversed that arithmetic. But here's what it could have done. If fielded in 1943, the Me-262 could have contested Allied air superiority over Normandy. It could have disrupted the bombing campaign, destroying German industry. It could have delayed the invasion of Germany itself. The war might have lasted another year, perhaps 2. The cost in Allied lives would have been dramatically higher. The tragedy of the Me-262 is not that it failed. The tragedy is that Germany's decision-making system was incapable of using what it had built. 3 years of delay, confused priorities, a leader who demanded the wrong role for the weapon. This isn't a story about what Germany built. It's a story about what Germany wasted. The Me-262 was the first jet fighter in combat history. It was years ahead of anything the Allies had, and it changed nothing, because weapons don't win wars, decisions do. The Me-262 proves that even the best technology cannot save a system that refuses to use it correctly. Subscribe for more deep dives into history. Archive session closed.